Hello everyone, how are you? So, welcome to today's live stream. So, let's before starting the live stream, we have already started the live stream. So, before starting any development work, let me recap what we did in my last stream. So, in my last stream, I explained about what is Blazorise UI and how we can utilize Blazorise UI in our Blazor application, what are layouts in Blazorise UI, and how we can set the Blazorise UI layouts in the Blazor application, how we set up the menus, we set up the colors and all those things. And I also showed you the documentation link. Where is the documentation link of the Blazorise UI, even why I chose Blazorise UI in comparison to other UI frameworks like Matte Blazor or exclusive UI, or there are a couple of more frameworks. There are a couple of more free frameworks, of course, like free and open source framework. Uh, so why I chose Blazorise over on top of those? I told you the reasons, and then I showed you how we implemented Blazorise UI in our Blazor application. And as promised in my last stream, that in this stream, what we will be doing is we will be finalizing the menus and we will be creating the login screen for our application. Okay, so let's start that. So let me move to my picture screen. And so what I'm doing here, so this is different. Let's okay. So this is our expenser application, and in our expenser application, what we are doing here is, as you can see, we have like expenser API. We did it in one of my streams where my sound and the video was not correct, and after half of the stream, the video got stuck. So as I said that I'll be repeating what I did in that stream in upcoming stream. So probably I'll be doing it partially one by one. So in that stream, I mostly talked about databases, like we are using MariaDB for our application. So I mostly talked about why I chose MariaDB and how to use Dapper with our application. So I'll repeat that one by one when we move ahead. Okay. But today's our goal is to finish the UI, like not finish completely finish the UI, but yes, finalize the menus and login screen and all those stuff. Okay. So let me run this thing and see what all we have done till now. Okay, so till the time this is being run, okay, this is updated. Basically, I do some of the research work. Like it's not a research work like a scientist, it's kind of the research work or my actual work I do, the development work and the practice work. I do on my regular projects which I'm developing for my clients and for my personal use, and then I tend to copy paste the code from there because that's how we roll, kind of do the um, code reusability and all the other stuff. Okay, so this is our application, and as I said, this icon right now we don't have this icon shown here. And for this one, I told you that we have one profile and then log off, and I use this drop icon here. So instead of this drop icon, what I'll do is like I'll use the user icon which comes by default, and then along with the user icon, probably we will give the current login user first name here. We'll show the current login user first name here. And this is basically, this is the exact copy and paste from your Blazorise default sample code. So what I'll do is, instead of copying pasting from Blazorise default sample code, we'll create our own menu. I tried to half-baked create this same expenser or expense tracking application in ASP.NET MVC also. So what I'll do is I'll kind of reuse that, not the code, but the structure of that thing, the menu structure. And probably I'll see if I can reuse the theme also. I'm not able to run that application because I haven't set up the database and all those things, and the database structure is different. And earlier I have used MS SQL Server. So, but anyways, so now what I'll do, and if you can see here, this weather forecast service, as you can see, we are running in the multi mode here. So let me stop this thing first. So as you can see, I'm running here as a multi-mode application right now. Okay, so the startup application is our multi application. Okay, how I did was like I right click on this, I went on the solution properties. Okay, and here you can see the startup project. Instead of single startup project, I selected multiple startup project, and there I selected this web as start and then API as start. Okay, so for now we are not doing multi-mode, so let's do it at single application, that is Expenser web. Okay, let's apply this for now. So our Expenser web will run now, and for this thing what I'll do, we are doing the UI changes. Okay, so what we are doing is this is our shared application, and in shared application we are doing this main layout. So this is this main layout is, as I said, that this layout contains the complete menu and everything. It is kind of the similar to the MVC layout, that this is kind of the base of your application. When we talk about single page architecture, so this is that single page which is the base of the application. So everything, this body parts change every time. Okay, I know I might be repeating some concepts again and again, but it's better to repeat it for the sake of clarity for everyone, for those who are joining late also. Okay, so first of all, what we'll do is we'll change the menu. So as you can see here, we have this one is the sidebar content, and this one is our layout header content. So this sidebar content, we have this, like this is the bar brand, which is this Expenser menu, and probably here we have to set up the icon. Nobody has contacted me yet for the icon, so probably by this weekend or by next week I'll find some icon for Expenser and I'll add it to this. And then we have this dashboard. So dashboard is fine, dashboard will go to blank screen. Okay, and after that we have this UI visibility and this UI menu. So we'll remove this thing, and sorry, I have this bad habit of using Mac command S to save it. Okay, so if you see here, this is like for UI element. Okay, so let's do one thing, let's run this thing again, and then what we'll do, like we'll simultaneously change this thing one by one. Okay, so this is coming up. In the meantime, let's move here, and then I have also opened my old application, that is this one, which is I know those who are like joining from India, they know it's I have named this at Mr. Munim. So Mr. Munim is like Munim we use for the accountant in Hindi. We call accountant as Munim. So I thought that it should be my personal Munim. So that's why I renamed it as Mr. Like I named it as Mr. Munim. But like unfortunately, this Munim never kicked off or worked, so that's fine. So this is our dashboard, as you can see here. Okay, so we'll keep the dashboard like this. Then we have one menu called as manage. Okay, so this is the manage menu. So what we'll do is, oh, I have this bad habit of, again, okay, so we have this manage menu. So instead of UI elements, we'll rename it as manage. Okay, we won't change the icons as of now. Probably we'll later on decide about the icons, which icons we should use and all. And if you see here, it goes to, so during, like while creating the menu, I'll explain also about this bar thing. This bar feature was newly added in Blazorise framework, as I told in my last stream also, that earlier there the bar was only available for the top bar, not for the sidebar. So for sidebar they were using another control called sidebar only, but now they have added a bar also by, like they have created another version of bar for sidebar, and that can be implemented by using the mode as bar vertical inline. and when we put it into layout sidebar cider content, it becomes the sidebar. Okay, vertical sidebar. So we have so yeah, dashboard will keep it as it is, that's not a problem. And we have this manage, so I renamed it UI to manage. And yes, so in bar we have this bar items. Okay, so we have different bar items, and as I said, we have bar start and bar end. So bar start and bar end, I explained in last video also, that bar start will be the beginning of the bar and bar end will be the end of the bar. Pretty simple to understand. That's why we kept the copyright information at the bar end. Okay, and then we have this, inside this we have this bar drop down. So if we see bar drop down is this menu. Okay, this is your bar drop down menu. And we have like this forms UI element. To me, I think this manage this entry icon, this icon is, I think, more suitable for manage rather than this wrench icon. So let us see, first of all, sorry, let us see what all options we have in old Mr. Munim. So in manage option, we have manage accounts, we have fixed transactions, expense category. And then in entry, so entry was like entry will be main like much more suitable for that pencil icon. So we'll use entry for that. So in entry we have income entry, expense entry, and transfer. So transfer would be from one account to some another account. I know that most of us have multiple accounts. So like uh, we have like one personal account, one salary account. Some people have two, three personal accounts. Some people have some corporate accounts also, those who manage businesses. Then in the family also we have different accounts. So transfer would be from one account to another account, or you are transferring somebody or some kind of expense. Then we have expense report and income report. This is for reports option. So the menu options are pretty simple and pretty small. And so let's keep it like this only. So for manage, in manage we have accounts. Okay, so control C, accounts. We'll change this as this accounts. First of all, we have this accounts, and we'll change to accounts. Okay, so as you can see here, what is happening in regular Blazor, we have a component called navlink. Okay, so if you see the regular Blazor source code, I won't be showing here. Probably uh, I'm planning to launch a Blazor end-to-end course. There I won't be using any kind of Blazor framework, but I won't be developing any application itself. There I'll be just explaining the concepts of Blazor. So or like any session like on 15th of yeah, on 15th of July, there is one light up conference happening. There also I am giving an introduction to Blazor session. So there also you can join. So in regular Blazor we have navlink component. So navlink is basically the href, the ahref component which we have in HTML. So navlink is that component. So Blazor framework automatically generates that ahref using navlink. So in this, what we are doing is this bar drop down item is, if you talk here, this bar drop down is basically your this drop down menu which is being created here. Sorry, not here. Here. So this is the bar drop down which is being created. Okay, and then for every bar drop down we have this, when we expand this bar drop down, we have number one bar drop down toggle. So this toggle is the top one which has like icon and the label. Okay, and then there is this bar drop down menu, and every drop down menu has this drop down item. So drop down item is your one nav link. Okay, so that's why it has this two account. So this two means it is going to some page. Okay, so we'll have like account page as I said, and then the second one will be let's see from here, the second one will be fixed transaction. So let's copy it from here, fixed transaction. Okay. It would be, come on. Oh, sorry. This will be fixed transactions, and this should be like, let's name it as, yeah, this should be account is fine. Fixed transaction is too big, so we'll name it as fixed trans. Okay, and the third menu option is we have expense category. So yes, we also have this column as expense category, which will be like, sorry, table as expense category, which will be for like recording different type of expenses, whether it is a personal expense, health expense, any kind of this expense category. So uh, page name, I think expense category, exp category is would be much more shorter. So we only have these three options, so we don't need the rest of the options. So what we'll do is we'll remove this rest of the options from here. Okay. Okay, yeah, we'll remove this rest of the options from here. So this is our here it goes. So our first bar drop down is ready. Next, create second bar drop down, which will be our entry. Okay, so in case of entry, right now they are just showing two. We need another one, so we'll copy it, paste it, and then we'll copy it from here. The another one is like income entry, so this will be like income entry. Okay, and then we'll have expense entry like this. Then we have transfer. So we have this transfer like this. Okay, and so this is done. Then we have, so the second bar drop down is done. Okay, then we'll do the third bar drop down, which is reports. So okay, this is puzzle piece. Let's see what all. So these are basically this icon name. These are default icon given in Blazorize. So they have for sure added many icons. Line left, icon name, arrow left, baby, arrow up. Wow, ban, bars. We'll use bars, I think, because reports. mm, bar goes like bar goes well with reports, so we'll rename it as reports, and we'll for now we'll just name it as income. So this will be like income reports. um Income report, first should be expense. No, income, fine. It's, that doesn't matter, like whichever is first or second. So expense, so this is like expense, and as you can see they have like since this menu is being taken from Blazorise sample application, so you might be seeing that this Blazorise sample application, this is like test charts, test live charts and all those things. So because uh, it's a sample application to test the functionality of Blazorise component library, so that's why they have given everything as test test test. But in our case we are directly creating these pages on the in the pages folder, so that's why it's coming like this. Okay, so we have done all the changes, we have created all the menus. Okay, and another thing which I said we'll be doing is we'll be in the header part here, what we'll be using is, instead of using this icon tint, We'll be using icon some user. Let's see, we have any user icon? Yes, we have the user icon. Okay, so we'll be using this user icon. Okay, so I'll save this thing for now. uh, and this is our, so we have reset the menu. And I have just click on the rerun button. So let's see how it looks. In the meantime, okay, yeah, I'm coming. Should I make it little bit smaller, this window? Let me try to make it a little bit smaller, probably square or round. Yeah, round would be good. Yeah, anyway, here I'm nothing is coming, so that's why. Okay, so yeah, we have this. So as you can see here, we have this manage, and then we have this entry, and then we have this reports. Aha, this bar doesn't look good. This bar doesn't look good. This is not the bar which I was expecting. So I'll change this thing. Oh, sorry. I'll change this bar. What I'll do, where was it? It was here, I guess. Yeah. No, this is for user. It was in this on the top. We have this. No, here it is. Yeah, this is the report menu we have. So reports, yeah, in reports, I thought this bar is something different. So instead of this, we'll be using what is there? Is there any graphs? Volume up, down, Wi-Fi, walking, video, utensils, user, undo, underline, truck, tree. Is there any graph? G. Gift, grip lines, layer add, adjust, align center, no. Active arrow up down, baby, backward, banded, bars we already did, battery full, bell. We don't have any graph. Apologies, I think there was some internet connection issue, so the streaming had stopped. So I reconnected. Okay, so here we are. We were looking for icons for this play, circle, pen, phone, music, paintbrush, microphone, map, laugh, laptop, circle, hotel, heart, and paper. Wow. So I'm confused. What should I use? For now, we can use anything. So what? Let's use check for now. Where it is? Add, adjust. I file at film filter fingerprint folder open folder forward from green grip line handpaper heart highlighter history. Should I do it history? Let's see what's happened in case of history. Okay, let's rerun this thing. Okay. Okay, history is coming like this. But anyways, we will change this later on, anything. We'll change it. And here, as you can see, we have this user icon coming up. Of course, when we implement the login functionality, we will be getting this thing. Okay. And since we need all these pages to be run, because right now what will happen that if I click on account, it will give you error. Sorry, there is nothing at this error address. And then unhandled exception happened and this whole error link. Okay, so what we'll do is instead of doing this, we'll create these pages. Okay, and in these pages we'll create this kind of screen, the card view, so that we are able to look into this, how like we give some good look and feel to this UI. Okay, so for now, let me we won't create all the pages. Okay, so we'll just let's create all the pages for now. I'm sorry, I'm just saying. Yeah, so we have this counter page, we have this error page, we have this index page. So index page, as I was saying, that this is my first base page which has everything. Okay, and this I have basically, this was just for index page is the first page. So in Blazor, what happens that when you give this tag page at the rate backslash, so this backslash means that this is kind of the home page of your application. Okay, so whenever your application execute, the very first page which will appear will be this page. Okay, every time. So if let me give you a couple of more example to this. So let me add another page. Okay, razor component, and then we are going to have account. So we have this account page. Okay, so we have this account page, and what I'll do is instead of keeping it here, I'll move this at here. Okay, and then this content section, I'll copy this, I'll paste it here like this. Okay, and for now we don't need this edit form and this whole div and everything, because this is, we'll be designing everything section by section. We don't need this. So as you can see here, I'm using this nav link. So this is the Blazor nav link component, which basically, as I said, that it is just an href. Okay, so for now let's remove this also. Oh, sorry. Let's and here this page header, this is coming from the, like this is coming from backend. So right now we'll name it as ACCOUT account, rather manage account. Okay, so yes, this is our manage account. Okay, so we'll save this thing, and we don't need this buttons. Okay, so control S, and since this index.razor doesn't have anything, so now you will see that this account page will appear when I run the application. Because why? Because I have set this at the rate page slash is the like, as I said, that this is kind of the root of the application. Okay, so let me rerun the code and you will see how it works or how it comes up. Okay, so it's rerunning. See, so manage account is here. So this, as I said, this is basically, this is how routing works. Routing is like, you can say routing is kind of giving direction to the application that what to come next. So kind of creating a flow from one page to another, or one screen to another screen, if you want to go to different screens. So routing is for that. Okay, so now what I'll do, I'll change this thing. Well, because we want the index page to be the base page, and not index page, rather we want the login page to be the base page. Okay, So login functionality, what I'll do, I'll copy paste code which I have took from there is as I said in my previous stream also, there is one YouTube channel called Curious Drive. So I really like their sample. So I have copied their login page design from there. So their login page design was like I found it good, good looking, I would say. In my terms, it looks good. So I thought that why not use that one? Okay. So for now, as I said, this add so in this instead of this, I'll use this as account. So if you see here in main layout, we have inside, so dashboard, as you can see, bar link. So this bar link and this drop down item. So bar link would be used when we directly want to create a link on the screen. So as you can see here on the output, this dashboard is directly coming on the bar. So that's why we are using bar link. But here we are creating a drop down menu. So that's why we are using this drop down link. Okay. So yeah, so this is, we have this dashboard. So that's why this two blank means we are just using the slash, or we are going to the home screen. Okay. Okay, so first of all, we are doing the account. So accounts is for this one. Okay, so this account. So why should I keep like name it as account? It should be account list because I'll be showing the list of the accounts. Okay, so let's rename this razor base as account list, or I'll rename it as, where it is, I need to stop this thing first, and I'll rename it as ACC list, LIST. Okay, which ACC list means account list. Okay, so this is our, but this whatever file name I give here, it doesn't matter much in our routing flow. The what matter is what tag I give here. Okay, so if I'm giving this account tag here, so from here when I click on this, it will directly go on account tag, and here I'll put back this thing, I'll put back here. Okay, so I'll put back this base here like this, and I'll command S, sorry, control S, and this will again be control S. So now you will see that when I click manage, yeah. So now you will see when I run this application, now you will see that the index page will appear as it is, and when I click on add manage account, it will go on the account screen. Okay, so that's how. So as I said, the page directive is the one which matters most. The routing, like what is the name of the controls, that doesn't matters. That matter only when if you are using the control as a sub control in another page. Okay, so if I want to use, sorry, if I want to use if I want to use this ACC list somewhere else as a component or control, then I'll be using this ACC list. But if I want to use it as a page, I'll be using this directive. Okay, that is your account directive. Okay, so this is our index page as like directly coming like this, and when I click on this, see manage account, so it doesn't matter where it is going. So ideally the flow would be like manage account will have this whole list of accounts, and when we click on any one account, it will like open the add edit account page. Okay, so that would be kind of manage account plus like, so it would be directly, we won't be like opening the add account from here, we'll be just clicking it from this page. We might think about adding the shortcuts whenever needed, but right now we'll be doing like this. We'll be giving here itself, we'll be giving one button to add account, and that will come on the top of it. Okay, so sorry, so that's that. So this is how we are going to set the menus. So we have set the menus items. Now let's go in designing the login page for us. So for login, what I'll be doing is, and for testing login, as I said, we'll be moving this at the page root directive for now. Okay. So instead of using main layout, we will be using a different layout. We'll be using a login layout. So as you can see here, this is the login layout. This is base login layout which we have created. Okay. And how we can use login layout, like we have to change the layout in the application. So how you can do that is in my another application. I'll show you how I have done it. So this is our login. So we can use this like layout at the rate layout like this, and then when we use at the rate layout, so we can give the name of the layout. By default it will take the main layout is our root layout. Like by default it will take the main layout as our base layout, but if you want to change the layout, we will use this layout. Okay. And like if you see here in our code, so in our application, in the pages, you can see here this error page. So this is the error page. Okay. So this error page has h1, h2, this, and it doesn't have any layout defined. Okay, because this error page is directly being called from our host.chtml. So that's why it doesn't have any layout. So we will keep this error page at it as it is, but we will create a login page also. So we'll add another razor component. We'll name it as login page. Okay, and for now we'll not for now, we'll always make this login as the root. Why? Because like of course login should be the first page whenever it appears. Okay, so when we implement the login, it will be like this. Okay, and now let's do one thing. Let's copy the same whole login code from here. So here also we are using this login base. As I said that I have this approach of using a uh, you can say code behind approach for developing the application. By default Blazor doesn't give you that, but we have to, like, it's a good practice to keep the UI code and the application code differently. So some people use MVVM pattern also for that, and there they have the view and all those things. I'm kind of following MVC pattern, where instead of controller I'm using this code behind page. It is kind of the controller page. Okay, so we'll add another page and we'll rename it as we'll add another class, sorry, and we'll rename it as, again, control V, we'll rename it as login. So this one is login page, so we'll rename it as login page uh, dot razor dot cs, so that it comes just below our login page. So we have this thing. So here some people use this thing, uh, like some people use this also. uh, some people use partial class also. I'm sorry, I'm getting stuck because sometimes words doesn't comes into your mouth directly. So some people use partial class also. I prefer to use, instead of partial class, I create a separate class altogether, name it as login base, so that it's kind of gives you the base component vibe. And then we can uh, component, will copy and paste it from the component base. So will what we'll do is, we have this, so we have this component base. Okay, so I'll just copy and paste it like this. But for now we don't have these classes defined. Okay, so we don't have this SVC data and all these classes defined. So for now, what I'll do, I'll just copy paste these two things and I'll remove all these things for now. Okay, and yeah, so I'll just use this component base thing. Okay, so that we have this base page defined, and here we are using, as you can see from here, we are using, it's inheriting the login base. Okay, and we are just copy pasting this edit form. So this edit form is basically your main form control. So when we talk about data entry using HTML, so when we talk about, because as I said, like Blazor returns or churns out HTML. Okay, so when we talk about data entry forms or HTML forms, so we have to use your form control, HTML form control. Okay, so this edit form is basically Blazor control, which gives you this HTML form control as an output. Okay, so we have this thing, and then we have done this. We have this and login, this div. So these are the different controls, and since this edit form controls require a model. Okay, so what does this model means? Like this model is your kind of a database model. Okay, so it can be an app user or any kind of model. In my other application, it was like SVC data. So SVC data was a kind of a common model which I created. I follow that pattern of using SVC data itself for communication between to and fro between different layers. Okay, so for service, SVC data means like the full form would be service data. So for communication between different channels of your application, like whether it is front end, whether it is back end, so we'll be using the SVC data for that. Okay, so let me do this thing, and we have in shared, we have this thing, our here it is, our login layout. Okay, so this is our login layout. This is again, as you can see, I'm not using Blazorise component here, just to show you that we can do a mix and match also, where we don't use Blazorise component, we just use HTML and Blazor components, and we can create a screen also for that. Okay, so this is how we are doing it. So this is our login layout, and we are using our login layout in our applications. So here we'll be using this @layout is equal to before page. I'll add this as login layout. Okay, so right now what is happening is it's giving us error because we don't have this edit form model binded here. Okay, so what we'll do is for now, not for now, anyway we are designing it, so we have to develop it for further like development also. Okay, so we have this login message and everything. So let's copy paste this thing from the base class here. So we have this login.razor.cs, we have here this is the base class, and if you see here, this is your login message, this is your login data, SVC data. So I'll just copy paste here, Control C, and then I'll paste it here, that is Control V. I'm just setting up the things as minimal as possible so that we can right now we can just design the screen. Okay, probably it's already like 45 minutes have passed. In next 15 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes, we just design the screen. In next stream, I'll be doing the end-to-end, I'll be implementing complete end-to-end login functionality on the page. Okay, so for now I'm just creating the enough data to create this thing. So SVC data, yes, we need this SVC data in our application. So we'll go to definition here. So we have this login past. I'll explain these properties one by one later on when we need this thing. And this should be part of models. Okay, so this SVC data should be part of models or expenser models. So what I'll do is I'll add this thing, add new class, name it as SVC data like this, and then I'll paste it here, Control V. This is our SVC data. Okay, so our SVC data is ready here in this thing. The valid user doesn't exist in current context. Let's see what is happening here in valid user. Do we have a valid user something like this? Yeah, we have this private app user. So we don't need this on valid submit. We don't need this thing. This is not needed in our case. Okay. So we don't have any error in our application now. Okay. We have this. Yeah, here we have the error. We'll use this thing, generate add reference to expenser models. So yes, we have added the reference now. So nothing will happen, but when we run this thing, now we'll go to the login page directly, and our login page will show you uh, the login screen. That is our username, password. We have to enter the username and password, and of course there is one login button also. Okay, so we have to do something about this also. Add unhandled exception on error occurred, this thing. I think this is some why this is happening. Developer tools, here it is, the errors. So what is this error? Okay, so it's saying edit form requires model parameter on. Okay, so why this error is happening is because if you see, it's not this, like this error will keep on coming, but right now for this particular page, why this error is coming is, if you see here, I'm using this SVC data as login details, okay, and here I'm binding SVC data with edit form. Okay, so and the error, if you read here, it says that edit form, yeah, here it is, edit form requires model parameter on or an edit context parameter, but not both. Okay, so what is happening that this particular object, sorry, yeah, expenser, yeah, this one, right? So this particular object is not initialized at all. Okay, so there are two ways to initialize this thing. For now, just to run this code, what I'll do is I'll write like this, new SVC data, and then like this. So now when I run this thing, now when I run this thing, it will work because it requires an object to fill the data. Okay, so in order to capture the data also, the form will require an object, right? So in order to get that object, we have to first initialize that object. It's kind of the error is like object reference not sent to instance of an object. So that error is coming like this. Okay, so here we have this, my other application has this company code concept. So that's why I have kept it as company code. We don't need company code in this application. So we'll stop this thing and remove company code from here. Okay. So we'll remove this company code from here. This thing is not needed. Okay. And we have login email and login password. So these things are of course needed. So now we'll run it. And as you can see here, so this is our login page. Okay, so our login page is finally ready. So this look and feel, I have took it from, as I said, Curious Drive. His application is bookstore application. If you see here, I think it's I have starred his project also. Bookstore application, I think somewhere here. Let me see. This is my habit. I star the applications whose code I like, and then I use them. Okay, so okay, I think I haven't. Okay, I haven't this thing. So we'll let's search for curious drive. Repositories, no. This won't be for user. This should be just the user, like this curious drive. Okay, here commits, issues, code repository, curious drive, blogs, users. Yeah, this one. Yes. So yeah, I'm following him instead of starring his repository. I'm following him. So if you see here, his this application, this bookstore application. So this is a getting started template for .NET developer. It uses the authentication authorization, so you can concentrate on business logic, etc. So he has created whole this playlist of Blazorise authentication and authorization, and he's managing the like it's kind of a bookstore management application. Uh, so I have copied the login page design from him. So and even the authentication logic also, like custom authentication provider and all those things, I have taken from him itself. In my next stream, I'll explain how we can use that custom authentication logic and how we can implement that authentication logic to authenticate and get the data to and fro from the database. And will as I showed, we have this one app user. So we have this app user table. So app user table is like, right now it's like app user ID is like this, first name, last name, and then we have email ID, login password. And you can see this login password right now, it's just pass. I have just written it, it's plain text. But the ideal way of using it is not using it as a plain text, rather than using it as a storing it as a hashed like hashed code. So that what will happen that nobody is able to understand your password, or even the creator of the application would not be able to understand or use your password. Okay, so that's why, like, most of the companies and most of the people use hashed password. So we'll be also using the hashed password. So in my next stream, I'll be doing that end-to-end setup of implementing the login screen, where I'll be creating the custom authentication provider. I'll be managing how we can use that custom authentication provider in our Blazorise application. Okay. Uh, so So I think that was enough for today. So just to recap what we did, what all we did today was we reset the menus, we resetted we designed the login page. Of course, we didn't did the whole design. We copied and pasted it from somewhere else. So yeah, I'm like, we should use something like, anyway, design and everything is like, that's not my forte. Probably I used designs which are openly provided. The themes are openly provided, so we can use some themes later on if we want. But right now, since it is an open source application, and anyway I'm giving the attribution to the guy who has created it. So yeah, we kind of copy pasted and created our login page. In next stream, we will be copy pasting and creating our whole login flow. We will be setting up the user ID. But here in my application, like in his application, Curious Drive has used Entity Framework core, but in my application, I will be using Dapper for doing the database communication, and MariaDB as the database. And probably in next like in our next stream, I might be creating the whole database also. Okay. So that's all for today. Take care. Do subscribe to my channel. All the details are given below. Techie Rathor. If you just type Techie Rathor, you will get me everywhere, whether it is Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, everywhere I'm by the name Techie Rathor. So till next time, take care. Bye bye.